Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And today we got a little bit of a treat for you. I got a couple new coins, and I have one of them right here on the left, and this one on the right we've had for a while. And what I want to stay right up front is that this coin on the right, it is just very, very nice in terms of how much it stands out and how much detail and stuff you can see. A little bit of melting into the rim for the beaded outer rim. But look how much nicer it looks than this one, just in terms of on its face. And when you look at them initially, you say, oh, it's the same coin. It's the same image. It's a Mary Gillick first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Has the pigtails and everything else. It says Elizabeth II, Elizabeth II, dear Gracia, dear Gracia. But notice how this Gracia goes up a little higher, and then this one stops down here. And then we start saying that there's something different on here. This says Regina, this says Regina too, and then it has the FD, or Defend with the Faith. So what's going on? These coins are both from 1956, and so I don't know if that gives you any more detail into it. And actually, if you tip this coin up, you see that there's a little bit more detail in the hair on this one, but a little bit less of the laureate wreath. If we tip it up on the side, we see that this is a milled rim. If we put them on top of each other, we see that they're both about the same, but the milled rim is different, and this is a slightly different color. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that, which we'll see in a second, is because of the materials that each of these are made out of. These are not made of the same material. One of them is made of copper nickel, which is this one here. And this one over here is made of 50% silver. Well, if you haven't guessed by now, this is an Australian coin. And it has almost the, as you know, again, we look, now that you know it's Australia, let's look at it. Almost the same exact image, except on this one they kept the FD, the Defender of the Faith, which they have on many, many, many United Kingdom coins. But it's not on this one, which is the 2 shilling from 1956. So 1956, the third year of Queen Elizabeth's second reign. And this is the famous 2 shillings coin. And if we tip it up, we see that it has the Tudor rose in the center. We see that it has these symbols around the outside. And let's take a look at those symbols, because they symbolize the United Kingdom. We have the Northern Ireland shamrock. We have the Welsh leek. We have the thistle from Scotland. And then way down in here, we have the Edgar Fuller Cecil Thomas. Look at that, EFCT, Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas, who were the engravers of this 2 shillings coin. Now this one here is worth probably about $1, maybe a little bit more than that. You might be able to get one for, you might be able to get more than $1 for it in this condition, but you wouldn't get much more than $2 because they're not that hard to get. This one on the right, the 2 shillings coin, was made from 1954 until 1970. Now I told you this was the third year of Queen Elizabeth's reign, but the first year of the 2 shillings coin, there was some special wording on it, and it said on the front, essentially Queen of all Britons. In the second year of the coin, it did not say that. So look at this, Fid Def, and that's where the FD comes from. So let's put it right up next to there. So Fid Def, they put it on the back of the 2 shillings, but they left it on the front of the Australian Florin coin. Now, it doesn't say 1 florin on it anywhere. In florin is the same thing in United Kingdom coins as 2 shillings. So this is the same coin, which is why it's the same size. But of course, since it's from Australia and it's earlier, it has 50% silver in this coin. It has a mix of other metals. It is worth, just in silver value alone, $5 to $7. So this one's worth probably $7 to $10, maybe a little bit more. This one's worth about $1, even though they're the same size, the same queen. Now, what can we see on this one? We can see the KG on this one. So this is George Kruger Gray, who designed a lot of things, including the Canadian penny. The famous maple leaf on the back of the Canadian penny, I believe, was designed by George Kruger Gray. He was a great engraver. And what else do we have on here? Flow separated by the crown and the cross here, Rin. We have the stars here, which of course the Australian stars, and then of course these are the 6 states or provinces of Australia on the shield. Emu on our right, a kangaroo on our left, and some native flora behind each of them, and this kind of outbacky kind of material here, and then 1956, and then says Australia at the bottom. Now you also notice that these this beaded outer rim and the back is not the same as the 2 shillings outer rim. They have these lines in between, and let's magnify them so you can see. So quite a different outer rim. So once you turn this over, of course, you know it's nowhere near the same coin. But there are little details on each of them that are quite different. All right, so what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that the Australian and the United Kingdom coins were incredibly similar, that they used the same image on the front, and that they used the same sizing and everything. But by 1956, Australia found it much easier to get silver than the United Kingdom did, and the United Kingdom had switched over in the late 40s to a substitute metal, which is the copper nickel. So there you go. Right here, you've seen it first, the $7 to $10 one Florin, and the $1 2 shillings, both from 1956. Let's get the 1956s together there so you can see them. And because they're from different countries and use different materials, they have vastly different values. All right, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.